So first we heard that Jay-Z sold the masters of Kanye's music so he can get back his masters. Now we hear Lil Wayne sold all of the masters of Young Money. With friends like this, who needs a Pusha T? What up YouTube, Topaz Ace back for another review, and this one's to that Eminem Music to Be Molded by Side B, the deluxe variation. And before we can go ahead and jump into the review for this, first we gotta give you context. First I gotta give you my thought process of me leading up to this project so you can have the whole picture. So if you feel as though you already know everything there is to know about Eminem, feel free to skip forward to the review at this point here. But where do we start? Let's look at that Music to Be Molded by Side A. With this project, I don't feel as though it aged very well because it has been almost a full year since the first part came out. But I do enjoy the concept of what's going on here because for the most part, when you get a deluxe album from an individual, what you're getting is like 5 additional songs that's added on maybe a few weeks after it got released. Not a full album release after a whole year of that album. It comes off more of an anniversary type deal. But my thing is, while I was listening to this project all year, I found myself skipping past the few songs that I actually did keep from it. And the reason why I feel as though that happened is because I'm just too adapt to the formula in which Eminem uses to create his music. Because when you look at it, it's like, okay, first you're gonna have that oddball collaboration which comes off as a Grammy performance like practice, like on the original joint it was with Ed Sheeran. He got to keep making that same exact song with Skylar Grey. Now don't get it twisted, I love that song, but how many times are you gonna do it though? He always gives a nod to the old school songs that really don't translate very well to today's day and age of the music industry. And of course he's gonna give you different variations of the same hit songs that he had before in the past. And when he fills up a project with all of that, you see there's a lacking amount of creativity to do anything unique and different. On top of him being in the game for so long, you can tell he's really lacking in motivation outside of, okay, I have to overprove that I am one of the best rappers that's out here right now. But this brings us to Side B. And I will say, I enjoyed this one more than Side A, but not by that much. Like, I'm keeping about the same amount of songs, and we're getting standard level Eminem like we got before in the past on multiple projects. It's not anything super amazing. I mean, a bunch of songs I want to touch on, like say that Black Magic, where this one is talking about an abusive relationship where we all halfway through the song had to have known where this was going. Not going to ruin it for anybody who haven't heard it yet, but ultimately if you've listened to Eminem before in the past, you can kind of tell where this one is going to go. And that's what I mean by it's lacking in the creativity, because there was once a time where a song like this was super shock value, like that was unique and different than what anyone else has ever done in the game. But now it's common music that he's dropped throughout all of the years. The next track I want to talk about is that Book of Rhymes, where that joint was pretty cool, man. I enjoyed the evolution of the production as it went on, and I enjoyed the things that Eminem was spitting on this. But a lot of people like, oh, DJ Premier's on the beat. DJ Premier working with Eminem, two of the greatest of two different time periods. My life is complete. That's not what happened here. DJ Premier just did the scratches. He didn't do the production. And when you listen to the production, which Eminem did some of it, and you can always point it out on where Eminem did it because he's still doing the same types of beats. He just got a little better with it over the years. But after all this time, you can still point it out because he's not a versatile producer. The next song I want to talk about was that Favorite, where this is just that old man song that's old man bitter because the music industry has moved on from what you have been doing for so long. So you're using the same tired metaphor that all old rappers use to define the rap game as a woman that's loose out here dealing with lackluster individuals as a means for you to just completely crap on the youth. And this is something that is not cool. When you do this, you're showing that everyone, I'm washed up. I can't survive in this new current age of music. If you think there are no lyricists out there, why is it that Freddie Gibbs might just be winning a Grammy here? Now, he may not be getting a Grammy for the projects that he was the best at, from Midwest to Miseducation, his golden era of the music that he was putting out there, but he is of that caliber and he is of this generation. So miss me with the whole rap game has gotten worse. It's just the music industry has gotten worse. The next song I want to talk about is that Higher. With this one is clearly an Eminem produced joint. Like, tell me, how is this beat that much different from what he did for Renegade? It's just better. But on this one, he's talking about trying to find the next level, trying to be better than what he is today, and he and everyone has that ability to become better than who you were yesterday today. As long as you push forward, as long as you grind, as long as you focus on some of your weaknesses and try to get better there, you can see the next step for you to take. And I believe Eminem can become better. But the problem is, when you listen to this album, you see the things that he's doing in his life. He's doing the same stuff over and over again that I don't believe he can top. But he can top something new and reach a whole new level, just like how 50 Cent, he couldn't top it in music, but then once he went on to Power, he started topping and doing everything that he once did before. And the last song I want to talk about is These Demons, because on this one he's talking about not only critics like myself, but he's also talking to his fans, where he's saying, okay, you tell me you want this and this, but yet you give me the complete opposite of what you want when I give it to you. And this is facts. Here's the real deal. People do not know what they want. Point blank, period, until you give it to them. From there, they will tell you they want more of this, but even when they say they want more of this, if you give them more of that, they'll say, oh, it wasn't as good. This is why, as artists, you have to focus on yourself. You have to focus on putting out the music that you feel like you want to put out, instead of trying to people please anybody, because at the end of the day, the criticism and all of this is going to come regardless. You better be happy with the music that you put out instead of going after these people. But of course, you know, we have to go ahead and break down these bars. Eminem is the Everclear of the rap game. Point blank, period. And we talking the 95% alcohol based by volume. His lyrical potency is iconic and beyond anything that's out there in the game, just based off of his wordplay, his metaphors, his punchlines. Everything that he does was on an elite level lyrically. But the problem is, if you don't properly balance this, it loses its entire point. I mean, isn't the point of drinking to actually enjoy the taste as well as getting drunk, instead of just drinking something that's going to instantly kill you? On top of the fact that he lacks a bit of flavor, but if you have to burn down a rapper's career or a studio booth, accept no substitute. As you have your pick of a ton of bars that you can look at on this one, man. Like, some of my favorites was, from the police, I'm on the loose. Day that they catch me is when 50 calls a truce. And that was on that discombobulated joint, man, where he also did a discombobulated flow, where that was different, that was unique. But what's the purpose of that? Like, could that actually be hot when you're not really saying anything? It's really discombobulated. I understand the premise, but why did you have to go for that long? You only needed to do that for like 2 bars and people would have got the point. How he said, it's 2020, he's still not seeing me. That was cool, a play on the year 2020 and Vision 2020. How he said, I got more lines than Black Friday, where he's talking about punchlines and things of that nature. But then Black Friday, when people go out shop. How he's saying, your opinion's like a broke calculator, it doesn't count. How he said that he's like a stroller, you see how I roll if you push me. These are just the bare minimum that I can show you here. M goes on and on and on, because as I said, he's one of the most, if not the most, potent individual lyricist in the game, and has been for some years, regardless of how much people respect it or not, because you like his content or you dislike his content, whatever. But when you break it down bar for bar, style for style, punchline for punchline, he's way more exotic than most. overall this project was cool, but as I tell you guys always, I judge individuals based on their previous works, not on everybody else. So in that context, and the fact that this is slightly better than the last one, I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10. Go ahead, check that joint out. It's cool.